You are watching On Demand. Please do not try to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Today on your Loose Women Live, it's Jane Moore, Linda Robson, Colleen Nolan, and Janet Streetporter.
Hello and welcome to the show. Coming up, with Anne Robinson admitting that she wishes she'd let her facelift settle before going back to work on The Weakest Link. We're asking, what do you think of Coles now?
It's melted.
We're asking if celebrities should be open if they've had a nip and tuck. And after I'm a Celeb runner-up, Owen Warner was given a sweet surprise by his family when leaving the jungle. Do you love or loathe being surprised? And with Aussie soap Neighbours wrapping up earlier this year, Janet travelled down under to ask this.
Is there any chance whatsoever the show could come back one day?
I'd love to think that it could.
We're very, very lucky to have actually lasted this long.
Never say never.
Never say never.
Well, after that big finale, the show is making a shock comeback. Yes, after much demand, Stephen Dennis, who plays Paul Robinson, is with us for an exclusive chat and revealing, did Janet actually save Neighbours?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Now then, first, before all of that, there's a suggestion from the government that technology such as microchips or cameras could be used in toilets to help detect certain diseases and just generally monitor our health. They say the idea could help ease pressure on the NHS. I suppose it's a bit like a pregnancy test kit, like in the lip of the loo and you wee on it or something and then it tells you. I mean, would you be comfortable, Janet, with your loo diagnosing your health?
No, because I went to America a couple of years ago and my friends have got one of those really expensive talking toilets that kind of anticipate what you're going to do before you've even realised what you're going to do. And I have never been so constipated. I could not use that loo. It more or less diagnosed everything. I mean, it was, no.
You got performance anxiety.
Performance anxiety.
And also, it might have told her she was pregnant. I mean,
Yeah, well, is such a thing as a divine birth or whatever it's called. Anyway, this is a distraction, obviously. Everybody here knows and everybody watching knows that the NHS is in crisis and that 1 in 4 GPs have said that they're thinking of leaving the service over the next 4 or 5 years, and that is going to make matters even worse. So for all of us, the main problem the NHS has got to face up to is waiting times in A&E, and none of us can get a doctor's appointment. And also when we go on websites, we're confronted with technology that a lot of the population just don't know what box to tick. They go, you know, you've got all these options, and then if you tick the wrong box, you're back to square one. It's like playing, you know, a highly sophisticated game.
I must say, when I first saw this loo story, and it said this loo's going to diagnose whatever, I thought, isn't that what GPs are supposed to do?
Well, yeah, GPs, and when was the last time any of us saw a GP? I mean, even I, and I've edited a national newspaper, cannot understand the website of my local GPs in Norfolk.
but here's the thing I don't understand. The money that's going to cost, why don't it just be better to give them a pay rise, the nurses and doctors and paramedics, and employ more of them, rather than waste it on a toilet? Men can't even get the wee in the toilet.
So true. And then
They'll have to be on the floor in the men's.
there's the other thing, that what will happen is that you'll get like a weird diagnosis, maybe.
Weird?
Well, a weird...
You just saying.
a weed diagnosis.
I nearly said another
And then
one.
everybody, you know where they'll all go? They'll all go to A&E.
Yeah.
And A&E has already got hours and hours of waiting lists.
So where do all these tests go? So when someone does whatever it is...
Well, I
wellies or
suppose it will be
boo-boos-
diagnostic. It will go onto the cloud, Linda.
Will it? Yeah.
And then the cloud will send it to wherever. It will be all that.
Well, it's a bit like what Gillian McKeith did, didn't she? She said she could diagnose people by testing their poos, couldn't she, all those years ago?
Yeah, but she's a human being.
I know.
I know.
But
Yeah, I mean, have you had a problem seeing your GP?
I haven't actually, but then I haven't needed to see my GP for the last 2 years. The only time I actually rang the GP was when I got COVID during the first lockdown. I rang up, told them I'd done the test, and they said, "Oh, you've got to stay indoors for 10 days." But in general, like up until then, I don't think I'd ever had any problems with it. Like from when the kid, but then you knew your doctor then. So
And that
when
was
you were a
pre-lockdown?
child, yeah, when you were a child, you'd see your GP and you go right through your teens and up until you got married, and then probably your kids would be with the same GP and that. Whereas nowadays, they don't seem to be the same GPs. They seem to change all
to
the
be
time.
fair as well, I do think they are up against it at the moment. There's so many boxes to tick themselves. You know, they get 5 minutes or something with each patient and all the paperwork involved. The stress is on them. I don't think they're just sitting there going, can't be bothered to see Janet today, although they probably are. But can't be bothered
Isn't
to
the
see
other
her.
thing that you used to go to the health centre and stand in a queue to get an appointment? Now, you can't get an appointment by turning up. You've got to go into that phone roulette.
Yeah.
So you've got...
It's like getting Adele tickets.
Yes.
Pressing.
Exactly. And I just think the situation can't go on the way it is. Either GPs have got to be honest. Let us go into the health centre and let more people there do the lower grade jobs.
I think there's a whole knock-on effect going on here, isn't there? Because social care is underfunded. That has a knock-on effect that a lot of the people that social care would deal with end up trying to get into the GPs. The GPs knock on to A&E. There's no convalescent homes anymore, so then you get the bed blockers. We know all this sitting here. Why can't somebody sort this out? Anyway, we did call the NHS for a right to reply, but we didn't get a response. But we should really point out we didn't get a response. What a surprise! We should really point out that it does differ from GP practice to GP practice, so not everybody will have the same experience. Now then, Anne Robinson has revealed that she wishes she'd let her facelift settle before going back to work on The Weakest Link back in the early 2000s, although she doesn't regret being honest about it. So we're asking today, should people in the public eye admit to a little bit of a nip and tuck, Colleen?
Why'd you say it like I've had it? Well, in my opinion, yes. I love it when people come along and say, I've had this. I couldn't wait to get back on telly and go, guys, look at my teeth, they're fabulous. Because I think as well, it's sometimes very obvious, you know, that you've walked out a certain way, walk back in and you look 18. It's not just a good sleep, is it? So I don't see the issue with not being honest about it. Like, you shouldn't be ashamed of it. You know, you want to make yourself look better or feel better. There's nothing wrong in that. But equally, it's people's preference, isn't it, if they want to do things in private. But I just think, especially when they come back in and they're like, I haven't had anything done.
Well, what I find funny is that women's magazines and all the features in women's pages in newspapers are full of advice about tweakments and little things you can have done. And yet, the number of women that admit to them is minuscule. And it's still one of those areas that people are really embarrassed about. I don't completely understand it. And my dentist tells me you can always tell when women have had a facelift because their teeth don't fit their face anymore.
That must be you then.
No, my teeth are fantastic. They're legendary. I've had nothing done, but I'm not boasting about it. That's my choice. But it's weird when you work with women who, as Colleen said, suddenly look unbelievably fit and healthy, and they go, oh, I've just been using a certain butter, or I've just been to the honeymoon, I've just been to the Maldives.
Just been doing a few chest exercises and suddenly
rolling
these
on
came.
a roller, or rolling that.
You've been doing a lot of chest exercises. But I don't have an issue with, you know, because I suppose there is a line if somebody wants to be private about something. But I do have an issue if they are doing a brand deal where they're promoting weight loss and they've maybe had a gastric band, or they're doing flogging beauty products to other people going, don't I look amazing, when you know full well that they've had
Yeah.
they've had help. Where do you stand?
I think it's
Linda?
up to the individual, but I myself, I've got a girl that comes around and does my lashes for me, and she said, "Well, I'm here, I've got some Botox with me if you want some, Linda." I went, "Hold on a minute, let me think about it." So I thought about it for a minute, and I thought, if I have Botox, then one of my girls, they talk about having their lips done all the time, and they've never had anything done so far. Then if I had it done, then they would be able to. Because I couldn't say, "Well, you can't have it done." They'll say, "Because you've had it done, Mum." So
But
no.
Botox is different to lip fillers.
Yeah, no, the lip fillers, I find them absolutely dreadful. I really, really do. The
Don't
amount
you
of
find-
women
Yeah.
that I see, or young girls, 16, 17, having their lips done, it looks absolutely ridiculous, doesn't it? It really does. And they're beautiful. But, I mean, Carol McGiffin's been really honest about her facelifts and everything, and I think she looks lovely with it. It's really just refreshed her face, hasn't it, really?
Well, she was also very honest about how tough it was afterwards as well, which I think people should really find
Oh,
out.
I watched both my sisters, or one of them in particular, Maureen, have her facelift. I was there when she had it.
I was there with your other sister.
And, yeah, and you were there with Linda. And when I saw Maureen, I was so angry when she came out because she was in so much pain. And I sat there and I thought, why have you done it? Because she was gorgeous anyway.
Yeah, she was.
But, you know, who is it? I'm not one to say. She felt much better after it.
Yeah.
You know, so to her it was worth it. But for
But
me,
so
I
many
thought-
young girls today look exactly the same. They've got the same big lips, the same caterpillars over their eyes,
Same nose.
the same nose.
Yeah.
And I mean, how are they going to feel? It's OK, all right, go ahead and do it if you're 18 to 25. Well, how are you going to feel when you're 50? Will you
Yeah.
want those caterpillars still? Just asking.
Alrighty, still to come, a heart-stopping story about Richard Hammond and his wife Mindy that will give you goosebumps. And with Sarah Ferguson being invited to Sandringham on Christmas Day for the first time in 30 years, Janet reveals her survival guide for Christmas with the in-laws. Sarah, if you're watching, listen up. Back in a bit. Hello and welcome back. Still to come, Stefan Dennis is heading back to Neighbours and returning to Ramsey Street. But is a return to pop music also on the cards? We'll ask him at 1 o'clock. But first, it's competition time. So how do you fancy winning Christmas? And wait for it, £50,000. Gok1 has all the details.
The weather outside is frightful, but this Christmas package of prizes is definitely delightful.
Are you on the naughty or nice list? Well, it doesn't matter as everyone has a chance to win Christmas. Santa's little helpers are busy getting it ready to be delivered to one lucky winner.
From this micro scooter to this season's top toys. This tech bundle including iPhone 14, this Dyson vacuum cleaner, designer handbags to these must-have kitchen gadgets, Smeg goodies and so much more.
And we'll have you rocking around the Christmas tree as we're throwing in all these fabulous decorations too. Tremendous.
There you go. Don't ignore me like these donkeys are. If you want £50,000 in tax-free cash, then you've got to enter the competition. There you go. Oh, I'm scared. Here's your chance to get Christmas all wrapped up as we deliver absolutely everything to you before the big day.
For another chance to win, text WIN to 86060. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY46 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 2nd of December at 3 p.m. and entrance must be contactable on the 9th of December and for 2 working days after. Good luck.
Thanks, Gok. It's been reported that Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, is being invited to Sandringham to spend Christmas with the royals for the first time in 30 years. Well, she is probably feeling a little bit nervous, you might think, and it got us talking. Do you ever get that dread the first Christmas that you spend with the in-laws? I'm going to ask the person who's probably had the most in-laws among us. Over to Janet Streetwater.
Who could that be? Yeah, well, the first time I got married with the first set of in-laws, I learned a very valuable lesson, which is they're not going to fit in with you and neither side will give way. They both want you to spend Christmas Day with them. So what happens is you're the victim in the situation. You spend Christmas Day on the North Circular on the road, basically. So you manage to get through breakfast. You stay with the first lot on Christmas Eve. You get up, you have breakfast with them, open your presents, and then you get in the car, you drive halfway around London or wherever you are in the country, and you get to the second lot, and you have to do it all over again, and then you have Christmas lunch with them. And I did that twice, and I am never doing it again. But my advice for getting through Christmas with the in-laws, bearing in mind that Sarah Ferguson now Charles is king, and Charles and Camilla are the hosts. It'll be quite different from when the Queen was in charge. And we know already that King Charles has changed the menu at the state banquet. It's all gone a bit more kind of 21st century, and it's got local pheasant and stuff like that. But the most important thing for Sarah to do is go in and admire the curtains. Find something positive to say.
They'll be the same curtains she saw 30 years ago, by the way.
Yeah, well, you just need a bit of blather, don't you, to get through, because she's going to feel very, very uncomfortable. And I met her, you and I both met her quite a few times, and you've worked with her.
I work with her. She's lovely.
She's a bit of a babbler, though, when she gets nervous.
She is, but she's got a good heart.
She's got a nice heart, but she will babble. So I'm suggesting babble about the drapes. Lovely curtains. Are you going to change them, Your Royal Highness, doing a lot of curtsying? Because, you'll like that, yeah.
I mean, it is a weird thing, I think, going to somebody else's house anyway for Christmas, isn't it, Cole?
Yeah, because you're used to your way.
Yeah.
And everyone has their own way of doing it. And I've only done it once, actually, where we went for Christmas dinner to the in-laws in my first marriage. And it was just so different to how I'd done Christmas. So for me, and I loved my in-laws, but for me, afterwards, I thought, oh, it wasn't like Christmas, because they just do it a different way. Like, they literally ate the dinner really quick and then went in to watch telly.
No.
And I don't have the telly on at Christmas.
Me neither.
It's all about, like, playing games and having a chat.
It's all about winning at games. Just saying.
But, yeah, so it was very different, and I never did it again. But then they came to me, which was fine. But I was very lucky with in-laws. I always got on with my in-laws. However, the thoughts of her being my mother-in-law, I'd be so scared.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I think I'd just stay on the North Circular.
Yeah.
Going round and round. Linda, I know you like things a certain way.
Yeah.
Is it like your way or the highway at
I've
Christmas?
never been to an in-laws for Christmas. It's the same with my mum. We always went to my mum's house when my mum was alive, and my sisters would be there, their partners and the kids, and she had a really small flat as well, so some of us would be in the kitchen eating. Then once that table would finish, they'd move into there, and then the kids would all go in and eat their food. But no, I've always had it at my house, and normally because I've done panto for years and years and years, and so you only get Christmas Day off, so it was always at my house on Christmas Day, which I love doing and that. But I mean, it's all that preparation, cooking the dinner, all that shopping and everything. And within an hour,
Fergie's not going to have that problem, is she? She's just going to arrive at...
I'm talking about my house.
I know, but give her some advice. Try to imagine she's arriving at...
Talk about her children. Talk about her girls and what they've been up to and
You
that.
know what
Just
advice
find
I'd
something
give her?
nice to
Fergie,
talk
just
about.
be yourself.
Yeah,
if they don't like you, then
Well, they don't want her reading her children's books in the middle of Christmas lunch. I mean, they may be very lovely, but every time I see her on the telly, she's promoting her children's books. I think they better take a back seat.
Good luck, Sarah, if you're watching. And my top tip is open the sherry at about 11 a.m. and you'll be fine. Sherry. I love a sherry. It's the only day of the year I drink sherry.
I've only ever heard old ladies drinking sherry.
I've got a bottle of sherry. Let someone put
You're an old lady.
Oh, why did I hand her that line?
Love a sherry on Christmas Day. Don't drink it the other 364 days.
Eggnog is good.
Now then, Top Gear star Richard Hammond has opened up about the high-speed car accident that left him in a coma in 2006. He's revealed that he experienced the most vivid dream whilst unconscious.
And in my mind, I'd been walking these hills here in the Lake District, overlooking Buttermere. I was having a lovely time, strolling along, and gradually I got a growing sense of, you know you're in trouble. And I walked up this slope where I am now, towards this tree, this exact tree. And as I got closer and closer to the tree, that sense of, ooh, I really am in trouble. I'm going to be shouted, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. Grew and grew until eventually in my dream, I turned back. I didn't walk round this tree and carry on, and I woke.
Well, Haystacks, the hill he was on, is very special to Richard, who says it's his favourite place in the Lake District. And he reckons it's the reason his mind went there in that very bad time. It got us thinking about those special places that we go to for a little bit of solace. Where's yours, Linda?
I would say the bath. Not necessarily when the kids were living there, but now they've all gone. Because when I was in the bath before, they'd be in and out and that, and I couldn't relax and enjoy it. But now I light a candle, and the bath, put a nice bubble bath in there, and just lay there and relax. Or the other place, because we were talking about toilets earlier, I went to Japan once, and have you ever been on a Japanese toilet?
Yes.
Oh, my God, it's amazing. There's all these buttons. You press a button and there's music playing. Then there's water squirts up your trumpet.
That's what I was talking about earlier. That's exactly what I said. Are you not listening?
I'm listening. I'm telling you about my experience. And then you get a blow dry. It was absolutely amazing. Honestly, music playing.
Honestly, 1 minute we're talking about the landscape.
That's where that was my wonderful place. Anyway, go on, your turn.
Wow. Janet, you like a bit of the Lake District.
I've walked that hill. It's lovely. It's absolutely fantastic. I did the coast-to-coast walk, and I walked a lot of the Lake District. I think my favourite place is anywhere there's no people, preferably by the sea or by a lovely river. And I love doing a long walk the whole day in a straight line and, you know, just having water alongside me. It's really, really calming, really lovely.
That's cool. I think mine, I just love the countryside. So greenery and trees and just makes me feel like sometimes when I'm really stressed, and especially when I spend like 3 or 4 days here, and it's very busy, isn't it? It's a city. So I get home and you feel that instant, like you can breathe, and it feels like the world's a really good place when you look out and see the fields and
your animals.
And the animals and all of that, and you think, oh, this is heaven.
Nice.
And then I come here.
Yeah.
With another load of old goats.
I'm the same as you. The toilet. I take a newspaper. Because no one
You'll
finds
get piles.
I close the door.
Can you not comment on this subject anymore, Linda?
I close the door, I have a bit of peace and quiet. No one can find me. Absolutely fantastic. And then the other one, again, like you, is the sea. I hate going in the sea. I've never knowingly gone in the sea, ever.
Really?
No. Well, I think once when I had to go deep-sea diving in the Barrier Reef, but other
God, that
than
must have
that,
been hell.
can't be doing with cold water. But I love the sound of the sea, and if I've been lucky enough to stay in a hotel where I can hear it through the window, I have the best sleep ever.
Yeah, no, there is that sound of water is fantastic.
So I think that's definitely my
Maybe take your bed in the
happy place.
toilet.
I was going to say, yeah.
Do a lot of flushing.
Right, well, coming up next, we'll be crossing live down under to speak to Neighbours star Stefan Dennis. He's going to be telling us about filming what he thought was to be the show's final scenes after 37 years, and whether a visit from Janet was behind the show's surprise comeback next year. Don't go anywhere.
She shot to fame on Britain's Got Talent, but has since swapped the microphone for the Strictly dance floor. Tomorrow, this year's youngest contestant, Molly Rainford, and her dance partner, Carlos, swirl into the studio. They'll be chatting about their Strictly journey so far and addressing those backstage romance rumours. Don't miss Molly and Carlos tomorrow on Loose Women.
Welcome back to your Tuesday Loose Women, keeping you company on today's show. It's Colleen Nolan, Janet Street Porter, Linda Robson, and me, Jane Moore. Still to come today, after I'm a Celeb runner-up, Owen Warner was given a lovely surprise by his family when leaving the jungle. Do you love or loathe being surprised? Find out which one of us walked out on her own birthday party surprise. Talking of parties, do you remember the days you had to wait for your photos to come back from the printers, then lovingly stuck them into one of these? Oh, yes. We'll be digging out our treasured photo collections in just a bit. But before all of that, millions of us tuned in to the last ever episode of Neighbours when it came to an end after 37 years this summer. Well, just over 3 months later, this happened.
Ah, Tony, have you heard the news?
What news?
We're coming back on Amazon Freevee. Oh, it's booked.
Hello, mate. What's that all over your face?
And on your head.
Oh, well, it's nice to see you too.
More to the point, Paul, we're coming back on Amazon Freevee.
You haven't told us when.
How does the second half of next year sound?
I'm there. Works for me. Yeah. Paul?
Hang on, gonna have to check my diary. All right, I'll make myself available. Happy?
There you go. Hey, we're coming back. We're coming back. We're coming back.
Well, what a plot twist. Stefan Dennis, who played Paul Robinson since the soap's first ever episode, joins us now live from Australia. Hi there. So, Stefan, Neighbours was axed, then we blinked, and then it wasn't axed. Tell us all about what happened behind the scenes. When did you find out?
Oh, it's really weird because we actually knew about a week before. When I say we, the big four, as they call us, Fletch, Jackie, myself and Ryan, we found out about a week before everybody else, simply because Jason, our EP, decided to come round and tell us personally, came round to our houses and told us personally. Of course, he kept it a secret until he got there. He just said, I've got a little present for you, and I thought I'd pop in for a cup of tea. Are you home? And this was like 8:30 on a Sunday morning. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a bit weird, but yeah, come on over. It'd be lovely. Come on over and have a cup of coffee. And he told us, and then it didn't actually break until a week after that everybody, including, I was quite surprised because the girls at Publicity at Channel 10, they only found out 2 days before it was released here. And I was like, woohoo, I knew before you.
Now, Stefan, I haven't seen you since I trekked out to Australia to make a very, very sad film about the end of Neighbours, and I grilled you, Stefan. I said, is this the end of the show? I also begged for a part in it, which you didn't give me, and I'm still cross about. So, was it my surprise appearance that brought about it coming back? Any chance?
Well, of course it was. Of course it was, Jen.
Yeah.
That was all ruse on my part. I was dealing with the writers and the producers at the time, saying, "Come on, we've got to get the show back on the road. Janet's going to be in it, so come on, get working now."
Right? Does that mean, Stefan, that you're going to let me have a part in the next one?
Oh, we have to, don't we? Do you know the funny thing about it is?
Made my day.
That's almost in writing, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you be nicer to me this time. Don't keep me hanging around all day for my one puny line.
Hey, don't you be so damn grumpy next time.
You'll be lucky.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I just wanted to quickly ask, in the very small period of time where you thought it wasn't going to be happening again, what were your plans? What were you going to do with your life?
I pretty much moved on, and like most of us, I guess, had. People said it was really funny. People were treating it as if somebody had died. They're coming up and they're going, "Oh, you're all right. Now that Neighbours is finished, you're going to be okay." Well, yeah, it's the end of the gig. It's all right. Very long gig, but it's the end of the gig. So time to move on. Time to do something else. And I was very fortunate. I sort of had a little bit of a hiatus where I wasn't doing anything, which was, in my opinion, great. And then I said about I was doing a musical in Sydney. I've just done a film over in New Zealand. And then I'm going to have a Christmas break. And then something which we're probably going to announce about now is the Neighbours tour. And yes, I'm proud to say that I'm going to be on it. There you go. You've heard it.
Fantastic. Yes, I think, what is it? It's the...
it was the farewell tour.
Yeah, it's now called Neighbours The Celebration Tour, and it opens in Belfast in March next year. And you're doing about 15 dates, I think, around the country.
And then it'll be, oh, hang on, are we really going tour? And then it'll be, oh, yeah, no, we are definitely back tour. And then it'll be like, oh, I don't know, so tour. And then,
And lots of people, Stefan, started their sort of career, their acting career, on the set of Neighbours and went on to superstardom, really, like people like Margot Robbie, Guy Pearce, Kylie, Jason. What do you reckon about that, then? Are you still in touch with them all?
Yeah, I think... I think, well, what do you say about that? It's one of the best training grounds that Australian television and the Australian industry has had. And that's one of the great things about the fact that we are actually coming back. It's not just jobs for me and jobs for my fellow castmates and producers and directors and all of that. It's actually, it's great because it means the industry has got yet again another training ground, as we keep saying, for all the up and coming. And it's not just actors. We're talking writers, directors, producers, all people in administration, wardrobe, makeup, everything. And that's the thing that people are. I think I was going to say people weren't aware of, but I think people are very, very aware of now that Neighbours, and I've got to say our competition as well, Home and Away, is just as good. Because without an ongoing show, there is no means for people to do, for example, a director's attachment or a producing internship or something like that, because there's just the shows aren't long enough to accommodate that. So to have an ongoing serial or drama series like that is brilliant for the industry in every way.
And now you're coming back to the show. Do you hope that your character Paul is going to be as villainous as ever? Because they're always the best parts, aren't they?
I certainly hope so. There's that very well-known period in Paul's life where Paul's neighbour's life, where he had the brain tumour and he came back and he was Mr. Squeaky Clean and lovely. And the audience hated it. I used to get accosted on the street saying, "When's Paul going to be nasty again?" And of course, I had to convince the producers that, because they just thought it was me wanting to be the villain, always play the villain. But it was true that what do they say? The person you love to hate. So I'm certainly hoping that he is. Jason made noises that I might not be, but I'm like, come on. You can't do that to Paul.
Well, you've had 6 weddings. Is there going to be any more?
That's one more than you.
I reckon that's on the cards, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, good luck, but I've actually bought a one-way ticket now for Janet to go to Australia. So that's my Christmas present to you.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Lovely to see you, Stefan.
Nice to see you, Stefan. Thank you so much. Good luck with the tour and good luck with the reboot of Neighbours, and that's going to be on Amazon Freevee sometime next year. See you soon.
Bye.
See you later.
Now, next up, we'll be reminiscing about the good old days of flicking through photo albums and sharing some of our snaps. And surprise, surprise, we're divided on whether we like surprises or not. So don't miss our stories. And one of them involves a stripper. Always good for a laugh. Back in a bit. Photo albums and surprise parties. But before all of that, it's competition time and your chance to win £50,000 and all you need for Christmas. Gok1 has all the details.
'Twas the month before Christmas, and all through the land, everyone was dreaming of their festive 50 grand. And not only that, there were presents galore, over £20,000 worth delivered straight to your door. The top toys for the good children, gadgets galore, iPhone, laptop, console, Dyson, DeLonghi, and more. Over in the kitchen, the feast is just beginning. All prepared by a KitchenAid, the lucky winner is winning.
And if you want a Christmas break, we have your back. We're kind. £5,000 to spend at Champneys, where you can chill and unwind.
Finally, you lucky things, this really is the business. We'll get all this delivered to you in plenty of time for Christmas. Do this to enter. For another chance to win, text WIN to 86060. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY46 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 2nd of December at 3 p.m. and entrance must be contactable on the 9th of December and for 2 working days after. Good luck.
Thanks, Gok. Now then, he left the I'm a Celeb jungle as this series runner-up on Sunday night. He was shocked to make the final, But Owen Warner had another surprise in store later that day when his brothers Jake and Louis flew to Oz and popped up as park rangers.
Pictures.
Man like rangers.
Oh, that's so lovely. And for those who are fans of Owen and who isn't, he's going to be on the show on Friday giving us his first...
Oh.
Yes, that's got you going, isn't it?
Friday?
Yeah, I know, we're not here, sadly.
Oh. No. I love it.
But what do we feel about surprises?
You're looking at me. I absolutely love surprises. I love doing surprises for people. But I also turn into a nervous wreck because you plan it for months, don't you? And you have nightmares, oh, I'm going to give this away, I'm going to give this away. And I threatened one time all of Kira's friends. I was doing this special surprise for her, and I said to all her friends, if any of you tell Kira you are not welcome in my house again, no pressure. And I did it the day of the birthday party, gave the whole surprise away.
No!
Yeah, sent a picture of this thing that had arrived, sent it to my son, but didn't send it to Kira.
Oh, no.
And all her friends were like that, but I do love doing surprises, and I love being surprised. I think it's amazing. Kira's always surprising me at birthdays and things for Christmas. And when I won Big Brother and I came home from that, I walked into my house and all my friends and family were there, and I really wasn't expecting it, and I hadn't seen anyone for like 5 or 6 weeks, and I just love it. I'm just a kid.
You are,
basically.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Well, I hate surprises.
Why does that surprise me?
There's certain surprises I don't mind. I wouldn't mind that thing with my mates or whatever, but I remember one birthday, I have a rule among my friends, whenever you're a party, whatever, no strippers for me, thank you very much. Don't like a stripper. Make me feel really awkward. I was sitting in a restaurant, they'd organised this lovely dinner, and I looked out the corner of my eye and I saw this guy coming towards the table with a rose in his teeth. And I knew straight away. And I got up, I walked out through the kitchen, out the back, and I got a cab home. I did warn them.
But how embarrassed would you have been if he wasn't for you?
Did he strip for your friends?
I have no idea. Do you know, that's a very good question. I never asked.
Well, they would have paid for him. They might as well get their money's worth.
Well, I didn't speak to them for quite a while.
My kids organised an 30th anniversary celebration surprise for me, sent me and Mark to a restaurant. When we got back, I had no clue about it, and as I walked in the door, they went, surprise, and I went, oh, no, oh, no, I don't want this. I've got work 7 o'clock in the morning. There was like 100 people in the front room, and it was just like, I was like a miserable cow, honestly. No, I don't... Anyway, eventually, I sort of warmed up to it. I felt really bad then, because the kids had gone to all this trouble, and it ended up being a really good night with me clearing up and taking everyone home.
Janet, very quickly.
Love surprises.
Do you?
Yeah. I like surprises. There's only one I didn't like when my husband turned up when I was having an affair with someone. That's the worst surprise of my life.
The less said about that, the better.
Well, actually, just before we go on to the next topic, I have been on the phone this morning to the Dream Boys. So, Jane,
I'm off. Now then, when was the last time you flicked through your photos? Now, I'm not talking about your phone. I mean physical copies, like one of these. It makes me very nostalgic just to even hold this up. It turns out that the classic photo album is in decline, with less and less of us actually printing them out, despite taking around 900 photos a year. Have you got your memories in a book, Linda?
I've got loads of them, because from when I started working when I was 10, didn't I? So from when I was probably when I had Lauren, so I had Lauren when I was 25, so from then she has got albums of everything I've ever done, like cutouts of everything and that. And also when we go on holiday, she'd take photos in the day, take it into the chemist that night, have them developed and have them in an album by the next day.
Yeah,
honestly.
lovely.
These are, so I've got this one. This is called Nanny Linda's album. So that's when I first had Lila. So these are photographs of Lila when she was born and everything. And then when she
came... if they were on your phone and you were having to, like, scroll through to find them, it wouldn't be the same.
Well, that was 10 years ago, so it'd take me a week to get through 10 years ago, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But no, I love albums, honestly. I really do. I've got so many. Then when they said bring them in today, I thought, how many albums do you want me to bring in?
Yeah. Janet?
Well, I've got so many. I've made photo albums probably since I was 16 16 years old, and I've got all the weddings and all the boyfriends, but these are all my albums. There they all are. I've got them all in the bookcases, and they said
very neat.
I'm in my house in the country, so today they said, "Will you show some photos from your albums?" So I'm showing you my favourite subject, me and a fish. So every time I go fishing, I take pictures of me and the fish that I've caught, yeah.
But who wants to look at that?
She does.
There's only so many fishes you can look at.
They're all different. They're all in different.
Yeah,
Some
but
are
if
in
you come round
Scotland,
and someone
some are
goes, do you want to see my photo album? And they open up and it's fish.
I've seen worse. Well, I'm exactly the same. I've got loads of these, and so this one I've got here, it says Royal Trip. So this is for when I was a royal correspondent. And
I've got loads of them.
I've got all the photos in here of Charles. So this was the Nigeria, Cameroon.
Oh, I loved
trip.
it
So
there.
it's lovely, isn't it? It's lovely. So look, that's some photos. I think that's Prince Charles there going up a...
You totally
set of
upstaged me
steps.
catching a mackerel.
Yeah, sorry about
Yeah.
that. And then that was... Now, look at my outfit. My luggage went missing, and I had to go to a Nigerian market stall, and that's what I ended up doing. That's a bit comedy. But, and this one, look, we'll all remember that, won't we? Do you remember the photo booth? That was the 1970s. It's a big surprise. I'm not a natural blonde. And that's me with all my various schoolmates in a photo booth. Cole, what about you?
No. No, I have my family. I've got loads of photo albums, but I've moved house a lot and I haven't. My dad always made photo albums. My sister Denise has got photos of all of us and all of our children. So whenever I need a photo, I always phone my sister. But my kids are very much like, you know, when I go, oh, let's do all these photo albums, put these pictures, and they go, Mum, you can do it all on your phone. Kids are just like that now. It's all on your phone. However, I've noticed that when I've talked about surprise parties, Kira printed all the photos out and put them up on little pegs on the wall. People have signed messages.
Nice.
So they are getting more into
that's
photos.
lovely. And I mean, a lot of it now is about selfies, isn't it? Do you know
But they did ask me about this last night. Bring your photo album in. I was here last night. I went to live in Manchester. When are you going to get this in yet?
That's true.
Didn't have time.
Janet, have you ever taken a selfie?
I'm not very good at them.
Well,
I always look really horrible.
We have photographic evidence that she's not very good at. We asked Janet to take one earlier. Here it is.
Where is it?
Oh, we don't have that one, apparently. There you go, new technology. Rely on the old printed ones in a book. That's what I said.
I think when you're doing a selfie, I can never get the angle right. And also, I'm always getting missing my head, and I'm getting what's behind me because I'm usually on a walk. And I think, wouldn't it be nice to show this lovely scene with me in the middle? So I hold the camera out, and then I usually get a picture of my ear.
Yeah, and the thing. Well, here you go. Here's some tips how to take a selfie. Look up towards the camera.
Right,
extend your head away from your neck.
Hold on, I've got to unlock the camera.
Hold your phone in front of you, quick. Hold it to the side for a flawless angle. Relax your mouth, exhale. Blow air through your lips. And then slowly spin to find your best light. Here's the result. There it is. We got there in the end. That's it from us today. Comedian Kerry Godliman will be here tomorrow, as well as Strictly couple Molly Rainford and Carlos Gu. And, of course, good luck to both England and Wales tonight in the footy. Have a great day. Bye.